Alright, now another very important lesson is selecting things. Okay, this is huge. This is like one of those things you should write down. Alright, new scene. Click on your object, hit X, delete, add mesh, and let's go into something that has a little bit more geometry like a UV sphere. Okay, zoom in on the object, get it to about right here, and then hit tab. If you need to stop the video just to get here. Let's go to Edge and hold Alt and Shift. So this is your main thing. You're going to be using Alt and Shift a lot. Alt and Shift allows you to highlight edge loops. And I can highlight many edge loops using Alt and Shift. Anytime I want to deselect, I could just click over here. It'll deselect it. So an edge loop goes all the way around the surface like this until it gets stopped by something. Let's say Alt and Shift on this one, you can see that it ends here and here. We call this vertice right here an extraordinary vertice, in the fact that it has a connection point that prevents an edge loop to occur. It also is extraordinary because it comes off more than 4 ways. And you can see right here, this is connected in many, many, many ways. Okay, now if you go to Face and hold Alt and Shift, you can highlight edge rings. Now as you can tell, WER on the keyboard allows you to rotate, scale, and manipulate these objects. So now you're probably going to take a few seconds and just, kind of warp this beyond belief. So Control Z will undo that. Now if you go to Vertex, I can do the exact same thing I did with both edges and faces. In this case, I just got to know where to click. If I hold Alt and Shift here, I can get an edge ring. If I hold Alt and Shift and then Alt and Shift, I can edge ring and edge loop. So edge loop, again, Alt and Shift, edge ring. So sometimes being in vertex mode isn't so bad, because really it makes it so I don't have to keep going into the other ones. So sometimes I'll just be in this mode only for a long period of time. We just got to know where to click. Okay, now the good stuff. If you hold Control and right mouse button, you can lasso. Now, when I lassoed, go ahead and look around at the other side of the ball. This could take you a second if you're new. Hold Alt and just rotate around. Notice that none of the other faces or vertices highlighted at that point. So if I click here, do a selection using Control and then right mouse button, nothing goes and gets highlighted on the other side. So there's a little button here that says Limited Selection. And if you click on it, things get a little bit fuzzy as far as looking at it is concerned. Now it's really hard to look at, and new students to this, you can get a headache really quick using this. Hold Control, highlight it. Notice now that that's on, it allows you to highlight the back face of any object. Alright, so this is my front face. These are back faces because they have to go through geometry to get there. They're also you're highlighting the back side of them, so that's why they're called. That's what the back face is. Anywhere the normal's not sticking out, that's back face. Okay, now that's pretty cool, but really to toggle this is kind of a pain. I much prefer Z on the keyboard. And Z allows me to go into the wireframe. So go like this and hold Control, make a selection, rotate it around just a little bit. Now what if I wanted to deselect something? Okay. Hold Control and Shift, and that will allow you to delete from the selection. Control and Shift. So Control allows you to highlight, Control and Shift allows you to deselect. And the same thing stands true for everything. Let's say I highlight a bunch of faces, but then I want to go and deselect some of these. Again, holding Control and Shift, I can go like that really quick. If I want to highlight these, I can. Now if you hold just Shift, you can make a Marquee Selection instead of a lasso. Unfortunately, there's no de-lassoing or de-marquee selecting. So you got this, or you have Control and Shift, which goes like this. So get used to deselecting things with a lasso. It's just one of those things you have to do. All right, now that's the selections. That's many different things you got to think about and how to select. I would practice for a few minutes on selecting things and then manipulating them, getting it to the point where you're, just kind of comfortable with it. Get used to this fact that you switch between object and edit mode and hit X on the keyboard to delete it. And then if you screw up, just add a new cube, add a new UV sphere. Take a few minutes to absorb what I just showed and watch this video a couple times, because it's probably the most important video besides navigation is concerned, is selecting things. All right, cool. So there you go. Let's go on to the next video.